I don't know why this was so important that I needed to film it right now. But apparently, this is what needs to be happening when you surrender to the divine, when you say, okay, Spirit, help me, work through me today, show me what I need to be doing, when I need to be doing it. And Spirit says, okay, pull into a parking lot and turn your car off and now film a video. It's going to be 80 degrees out today, so I hope I don't get too hot in here doing this. But today I really feel strongly called to talk about our childhood abuse. And I want to preface this by saying, right, I truly believe all trauma is trauma, right? But from the human lens, there are things that I know some of you have been through that I cannot even imagine, right? I suffered through, I moved through, I worked through my fair share on the twin flame journey of childhood abuse and neglect and gaslighting and trauma. But when I talk to you and I hear your story, and I think you're on a twin flame journey, which is the journey of opening your heart again. It's the journey of allowing that unconditional love back into your life that you didn't receive as a child because of this childhood trauma. You inspire me. Because the things that you have gone through, the things that you have seen, it gives me the courage on my own twin flame journey to open my heart even more, to be even more vulnerable, to be even more real and authentic, to be even more willing to be seen. Because I realize when I talk to you and I hear your story and I'm like, wow, if you could go through what you went through and still be willing to open your heart, still be willing to put yourself out there for love, like that is strength that I don't think many of us realize. Like that is true strength. And so there's a strong correlation and a strong purpose to twin flames that have experienced this abuse as children. There's a really strong correlation to this. And part of that is that you needed to be so twisted, so turned around that you had nowhere to go but back inside yourself, okay? Like you were somebody that was so strong otherwise that you needed to be turned back within, or else you would have like taken everything and you just ran with it. And you would have, what actually would have happened is if all of us twin flames didn't have this childhood trauma to overcome, the world would already be healed. It would already be a different place. Like we are so powerful that if we didn't have these things to overcome, the ascension process would have happened way too quickly here on earth, and a lot of people would have missed out on a beautiful experience that we are having now. So part of it is that. Part of it is this childhood trauma, this childhood abuse that you experienced. You came here as a soul to have your greatest evolution. You came here to experience like the highest trajectory of what would be possible for you. And part of that is having extremely traumatic and extremely challenging life circumstances. Because without those life circumstances and without those traumas, you wouldn't be able to overcome anything, right? Your greatest evolution is literally in spite of and because of these experiences that you had as a child. Now, the other thing that was coming through super strongly with this is your childhood traumas are actually not yours to begin with. So you probably already know this. You are the generational cycle breaker, the generational chain breaker. And as such, these traumas that you experienced were actually passed down to you. It was like a culmination of everything that has been experienced in your family line, whether from your mother or for your father's side, it doesn't matter. But you are the culmination of all of that, and your ancestors came to you and said, we choose you. You are going to have the qualities, the necessary qualities that we need in order to break these things, in order to come back to yourself, your true self, in order to come back to wholeness and to repair the family line. You guys, I live in South Africa, and in terms of belief systems here, there's a very strong belief system in your ancestors and how your ancestors support you. And this is a really strong, cultural belief system here. And so I've learned a lot over the time that I've lived here from various people in my life and how they view the role of ancestors and how they view, even the other day, I'll give you an example. I was putting Claire in the car, in her car seat here. I was putting her in the car, and her nanny, she's a traditional healer, so she's training to be a Sangoma, which is a traditional healer, or what they would call a witch doctor here. So using herbal medicines, using dream interpretation, doing all of these kinds of things, right? And so she looks after Claire, which is amazing and spontaneous and serendipitous that we have this beautiful soul that was called into Claire's life to teach her. And we talk about so much. We talk about our dreams. We talk about herbs. We talk about different traditions and what we believe. And so I was putting Claire in the car, and I put my phone on the roof of the car. And then we started driving. I was taking her home and another lady home. And we started driving, and we live on a bumpy road, a very bumpy road. And I get to the stop sign, and this is also where James comes into play, because he's always helping me, whether he realizes it or is intending to or not. I was thinking about calling him based on what we were going to have for dinner that night. And so I was like, oh, let me call him. And I looked down, and I realized my phone's not in the cubby hole that I always put it in the car. And I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, there's no way this thing is still going to be on the car. The road is so bumpy, and there's just no way. We've driven far enough that it should have fallen off. And so I go and I stop the car, and they're looking at me, and I'm like, I think I left my phone on the car. And they start cracking up. And so I go run over to Claire's side, and sure enough, it's still on the roof. And our nanny Vuyo, she was like, oh my God, your ancestors, you must have done something really good because your ancestors are looking out for you and all this stuff. And so, in the culture here, like, I think in Western culture, we forget that we come from so much. The family tree that is behind us, it's like thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are supporting your very life. Thousands and thousands of people that came together and broke apart and died and sacrificed for you to be here today doing what you are doing. And so I think we take this for granted a lot, because we think, oh, like, I'm just one person, or, a lot of times I think this way, like, my parents weren't able to move through the wounds. They weren't able to move through the trauma, but it's really like each one of their journeys led to you, and you were the chosen one. You were the one that is so strong that you can actually break through all of this. And sometimes, it's at this point in your twin flame journey, and it's cyclical, so it comes back up over and over again. But it's at this point in your journey where you start to realize that, okay, I'm not the victim of my childhood anymore, right? We like to say, like, oh, well, if my parents didn't do this, or if they didn't do this, maybe I would be in a different position. Or we say, we're really attached to the story of our childhood traumas. We're really attached to the story of, our wounds and how we got here and what we need to heal and what we need to transcend. When in reality, the reason why you have those wounds are actually because you were so strong that you were the one that could handle it. You were the one that could navigate it. You were the one that could move this line forward. So if it wasn't for your strength and your power, you actually wouldn't have had those traumas. You would be a completely different person, right? And we don't need to go down that rabbit hole, because we all know every decision, every experience leads you to the person you are now. So it's not like we need to, re-go over that entire situation. But it's important from the perspective of the fact that that's what got you here today. that is what your power is made of, and that you only have these wounds in order to transcend them, right? Like there's no other reason that you have these wounds other than it's your path to transcend them. And then maybe also your path to help others along the way who are going through the same thing. So twin flames and their childhood abuse serves a beautiful myriad of purposes. But know that you are so much bigger than what happened to you. You are so much bigger than what you experienced. And it's because of those experiences that you decided to be on this twin flame journey, because you decided, aha, my biggest evolution as a soul is going to be to let love in again. It's going to be to open my heart. My biggest evolution is going to be to let go of these stories, to finally say enough is enough. That's not who I am anymore. That's not how I respond to things. That's not my habits. That's not my programs. I'm so much bigger and more expansive than this could ever be. So at 11:11, twin flame, listen to this. Take this as your sign to finally let go of the things that you're holding on to move forward. To move forward in a positive direction, to move forward in a place of peace, in a place of love, in a place of service for yourself and others. And if you're looking for more support, other twin flames that are on the same path, same aligned journey, you can check the links down below. You can find everything there that you need to. And we will see you in the next video. Thank you so much, so much for being here with me today. Love you.